Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow. We'll take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination fly. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair.
Happy Sunday. Welcome to the end of 1 week and the beginning of another. We are an hour, a little bit less than an hour and a half away from Monday. They're all Mondays to me, really. I mean, there's no break, there's no weekend, there's no week beginning, there's just Monday. They're all Mondays. Some Mondays are more fun than the others, some Mondays are cooler than the others, but they're all Mondays. They're all Mondays. My week never ends, it's never ending. Larry, getting us off to a good start, gifting 5 memberships. Thank you for that support, little homie. Also, dude, remind me what it is that you wanted to watch that you chipped in for the other day. I forgot to email myself like I do when people do that. So remind me what you wanted to watch. So we will start to get that going. The Emmys just wrapped up. Penguin did not win for best show. Let me say hi to everybody. Give Brad some time to drag his ass into the show. Speaking of Larry, if you guys, I've decided to keep the link open. I mean, if I can sit through Mystery Man, I can sit through anything. So if you want to donate or put in for a movie, Larry put in for one already, or put in for part of one already. But like I said, we'll make time for it. Like it can't get any lower than some of the shit that we've watched. It's not going to annoy me more than Mystery Man. It's not going to annoy me more than Dumb and Dumber and Ace Ventura. It would be cool if we got together and watched some really nice stuff. But I know some people want to do Heat. There's a couple of them out there. And like I said, I'm still deciding on the structure of the channel. These last 2 Saturday Overnight Lives, which was the show that I was considering like eliminating and making that, consolidating that with Sunday night. I really liked those last 2. it's kind of tough when I'm trying to make a decision about the future of that particular show. And the last two I've really loved, especially the week before last. So if you guys get a chance to rewatch those, go ahead. But yeah, that link, the PayPal link, is tied to the top of the channel if you would like to. And when you do the donation, make sure you put the movie that you are considering doing. They didn't win for the overall mini series. I think Adolescence won for that, but no, Christine Milioti won. Let's go ahead and I'll wait. I have the list up here that won. Yeah, she deserved to win. I thought Colin Farrell deserved to win, but a lot of these shows, in all fairness, I don't watch. I don't watch The Pitt. I've heard it's a great show. I just don't have time, and it's not really my genre that I really sink my teeth into. I know how Noah Wiley's from ER is good. I mean, but a lot of these shows that were winning or that were even nominated, I don't watch. I don't watch them. So, all right, Monday can be fun day. I gave 50. Oh, Spinal Tap. That's right, Spinal Tap. Considering the sequel is out, yeah, Spinal Tap. That's one we usually do. I know Clint would want to watch that too. Right. Son of I know of Tyrone Magnus by name. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I only know of him by name. I have never watched 1 second of anything he's ever done, and that's not a knock against Tyrone Magnus. I know of him by name. Obviously, we have a lot of mutual community, but I have never spent a second on his channel, so I don't really want to comment on someone whose content I've never seen before. That's not fair. So I'm going to leave that. Hello, Aaron. How are you doing? Yeah, I wish I'm dude. I mean, but like I said, when it comes to the Emmys, it's even with the Oscars, there's not as many nominations and categories. It's really easy for me to catch, most of the movies. Dude, with the Emmys, there's so much shit on. And it's not like bad stuff. It's just like stuff that it's on all kinds of platforms, and there's shit on Apple Plus that I didn't even know was on. I have Apple Plus, and I'm not watching half the shit I should be watching on Apple Plus. So, but I did watch The Penguin, and like I said, Colin Farrell should, without having seen anything, though, he's going to be my guy. He's going to be my guy as far as like who I thought should win. Yes, I did. I just forgot what the movie was. You may have even put it in the description, but like I said, I worked all through the week. I did Rocky Horror on Friday. I had to do store business on Saturday. We did that abomination of a movie, Mystery Men, on Saturday afternoon. And then I had sales all week because we had to fight. I mean, like I said, I did not watch the Canelo Alvarez fight, and I was not involved in that. I mean, they packed the Legion Stadium over here in Vegas, but the tourism traffic, which I desperately need, because like I said, for those of you who've been keeping track of what's been going on with international tourism, it's been tough. 78% of my walkthrough traffic is tourism. Like I said, almost in some days it's even more than that. That is, where I'm located. I'm located right at the north end of the strip, where you can cross into downtown. And if you're traversing the strip from south to north, that's the outlet is right where I am. And then you have the convention center, which literally Karen goes right into it turns into Liberace, but it leads you right to me. You can actually on days where it's not 2,000 degrees outside, you can actually walk there. It is not too bad. The convention center is massive. So yeah, we had a major fight over the weekend. Really big fight. And we got some, I stayed open late, and so that I could deal with customers. So let's see. Netflix is going to outbid Apple or I don't think Netflix wants it. I mean, I keep hearing this, and I keep seeing it in places, but I'm gonna bring up the question until somebody has an answer for it, or one of these companies has the answer for it. A cheaper, stripped down version of Warner Brothers Discovery has been sitting there for you to take since Zaslav took over. So what? Why now when a bidding war is going to drive up your price? If you didn't want it before, you know, you don't want Paramount to get it. That's not going to make much of you. You're going to spend that money and see where net. I mean, does Netflix's stockholders want to take on $35 billion in debt? I don't know. Apple, yeah. Microsoft, yeah. But like I said, they didn't just become trillion-dollar companies. Apple didn't just become Apple. Microsoft didn't just become Microsoft, and Warner Brothers Discovery just didn't become the company that it is now. So if these companies wanted it, they can already outbid everybody. Nobody's going to outbid Apple if they wanted it. Nobody's going to outbid Microsoft if they wanted it. Nobody's going to outbid Amazon if they wanted it. Netflix, I don't know. But none of those, no, if what Zaslav is saying is that that was a lowball bid, then where are the other bids? He says he wants a bidding war. Okay, I don't. What's changed there? You've always wanted the bidding war. He secretly had this company up on the chopping block. I mean, the moment he took over. So this leads me to believe that Paramount's the only game in town until somebody throws their hat in the ring. Now, when they do, then I'll be like, okay. But I'll still have the question for anybody who does it: why now? I know why Paramount is doing it. Paramount legally is doing it when the soonest legal time that they could. The company that is now Skydance Paramount is doing it immediately. I mean, they literally just merged, and now they're turning around to merge again. These other companies have been in their position for all time. So, like I said, I'm just curious to see. Personally, if they don't get the bid and the company doesn't sell, I'm okay with that as well. Because, like I said, any of those companies it can come in and do whatever the hell they want to with IP. And I know Fanboy Logic is like, there's no way they're going to get rid of James Gunn. There's no way they're going to do this. No way they're going to do that. The qualifications of what? Us being on YouTube? That's not a reality. I mean, I don't need that to happen for any element of DC because, like I explained to you at length last night, continuity is cash. Continuity is king. DC has made it a habit of breaking up their continuity. And if somebody comes in and starts making wholesale changes, here we go again. At some point, the ground beneath you has to be solid. Okie dokie. Let's see. That's not a bad album. That's Smashing Pumpkins. That's not. That's actually that and Machina are very underrated albums by them, and I think it's because of when they were released. I think anything that got released after not Siamese Dream, Melancholy and Infinite Sadness. I think a lot of people look at that Siamese Dream and Melancholy as their height, and that it's kind of like people think of Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, which I disagree with. I think The Wall is the best Pink Floyd. But I think people look at what the achievement of Melancholy was, and they shut their minds off. There's a song called it's called, I think it's off of Machina. It's called Standing Inside Your Love by Smashing Pumpkins. It's one of their best songs they've ever done. And I've listened to every Smashing Pumpkins song. They're one of my favorite bands of all time. I got to see them live here at Lollapalooza when they were here with Beastie Boys, Nick Cave, L7, The Breeders. Yeah. All right. Let's see. I hope we're talking about. Yeah, we're both talking about. Yeah. Perfect's another song on there. Ava Dora. Let's look at the Ava Dora is underrated. Perfect is underrated. Once Upon a Time. Yeah, this would be, I think, their last album for a while. It was released on my 24th birthday in 1998. The entire album. So Okay, the Airplane Flies High was the ones they did cover. That wasn't. I mean, like I said, I was still in the glow. Machine of the Machines of God. This is the one I'm talking about. Yeah, this is the one I really thought was one of their underrated albums. The Everlasting Gaze is an excellent song, but Stand Inside Your Love has some of the best guitar work that they've ever done. Age of Innocence, and there's like I said, there's a lot of tracks on these albums. So yeah, I agree. I agree. It's a Cookie Monster. It's like the Cookie Monster. Happy 35th. Wow, Captain Planet's been on. I actually thought Captain Planet was because I would be watching SNL and SNL would do those silly cartoon things. That's why I thought Captain Planet was at first. I didn't realize it was actually a real thing until later on. Let's see. Martin Lawrence, yeah. Oh, brother, yeah, I remember Martin. Yeah, didn't he used to come through the window and eat their food? Is that the one? Yeah, he would come through the window and go into their refrigerator. We're talking about the same one. Wow, it's been a long time since when I think of Martin Lawrence now, I think of Bad Boys. Yeah, yours are all Fridays. I mean, like I said, this for me, it's all. What episode was this? What episode did we do? I don't. This last episode didn't really do a lot for me. Did not do a lot for me. No, I can do two things at once. I've already seen Mystery Man. And Georgia football, I was actually watching that on a different screen. I wasn't actually watching it live because I couldn't get that channel, but I was watching the replay. Mystery Man, like I said, what am I missing? Do I really need to give my 100% potential to one of the absolute drudges of movies making? Nah. Yeah, we have to do Wicked. We'll probably do Wicked on Saturday or Sunday because I have both of those days available. And Wicked's like 3 hours, so yeah, we got to get that one done. Spinal Tap, the end continues. I know they won for best writing. Let me. I'm trying to wait for Brad to bring these up, but let's go ahead and let me get further in the chat because I'm going to. Yeah, we actually had 350 at any given time. So I'm trying to figure out how long they have to watch for YouTube to calculate them as a complete watch, so that when you see the views, because so there's a difference between your live watchers and your actual views. So I'm trying to get that to correlate so that we can keep building. So yeah, we had quite a few last night because I partnered up with some people who were watching. Never seen Spinal Tap before? Oh, we'll get to it for sure. What is Mystery Man or Mystery Man? What did that movie come out? Now, it came out in 1999, and it's Mystery Man, and it's a horrible movie. Brad tries his best to defend the movie every time, but he looks like a fool because he's defending Mystery Men, but he throws up in his own mouth when it comes to like movies like Scary Movie or Meet the Spartans, which are dreadful movies. Don't get me wrong, but he gets mad when I consider them of the same ilk, and they are. They all suck. Let's see, Cowboys. Did the Cowboys win today? Yeah, they almost lost. They almost lost. They needed a field goal to win. Bitches. Look who must have got the signal later. Let's see.
To answer your question, Antonio, it is Mystery Men. Mystery Men, not Mystery Man. The only mystery man is the man next to me who, is such a sauerkraut about that movie he couldn't
It's
chuckle with
trash,
like
dude.
everybody else.
It's I made sure I didn't eat, so I didn't vomit on air. But anyway, you guys are talking. I'm skipping a lot of these. You can disregard Williams' opinion. Well, when you say you can disregard somebody's opinion, we're already on the wrong foot because it's an opinion, but it's fine. Dark Side of the Moon is the best album ever made by humans. Oh, no. This is where music is subjective. I'm sorry, but I love Pink Floyd, but I don't even think that's their best performance. I think The Wall is. But we can, we can disagree on that. That's fine. But best album made by humans, whoa, that's a tough one. I like I said, I can't. I'm not a bigger fan of Dark Side of the Moon than I am of The Wall. But it's because that you're a couple years older than me, Clint. But like I said, they were playing The Wall in my first grade class. That's where I connected with a lot of music there. So it's a preference. There are a lot of albums that I would probably, if I had to sit down and do a stream about what I thought were the greatest albums of all time, personally, Dark Side of the Moon's not in my top 10. It's not. But see, neither is The Wall. But I got a lot of, you got some Metallica in there. You got Injustice for All, which I think is one of the greatest musical achievements ever. You have, once again, you have, there's so many. Let's see, just started watching Japanese Thriller. I think Hey You is better than both of those. I'm coming at it from a different point of view, I guess. Maybe it's the impact that The Wall had on me as my mind was forming and accepting music as a genre, because I'm 6 years old. Maybe that's why, but I think there's you pick anyone's song. Now it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch Wizard of Oz synced up with Dark Side of the Moon, but I don't think that's their best album. But hey. Cat Williams said that Steve Harvey was wearing a hairpiece while filming the Steve Harvey Show. Your thoughts? Did I just step into a joke? I can't do. I don't remember. Well, no, I don't watch Steve. He's Family Feud to me. I never watched the Steve Harvey Show, but I know him as bald guy. So I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm being if I just inadvertently walked into once again, listen, music, there's no wrong answer here, Clint. There's no wrong answer. It's how the music hits you. It's music, the way you view a song or way you interpret a song has a lot to do with a lot of things that are personal. They're personal to where you heard that song, what kind of mood you're in when you heard it, what the environment, what that song meant to you. There's so many things that make one song better for someone than the other. So my personal opinion, I appreciate the achievement that Dark Side of the Moon is, but I love The Wall. And then there's a movie to it. Nah, it tore up the band. But you know what? It's still an achievement. And Wish You Were Here is a great song. And the reason why for those of you who don't know, Wish You Were Here is a song about and dedicated to Syd Barrett, who was a big part of the beginning of the band and they stayed loyal to him forever. He overdosed, did something, just LSD, something he did, and he messed up his brain forever. And he was a shell of himself. And those two songs, Shine On You Diamond and Wish You Were Here, were dedicated to him. And Dave Gilmour, because he still got paid royalty checks. And I guess if it was up to Roger Waters, he probably wouldn't have. Dave Gilmour made sure that Syd Barrett got royalty checks up till the day he died. And he just recently passed a few years ago. But yeah, he was the original lead singer of Pink Floyd, some of their earlier albums. But he he was not part of the band during when they hit that zenith in 1973, 1975, and then with The Wall. Any of the albums with Time, Learning to Fly, and Wish You Were Here are echoes of the best Pink Floyd album. Like I said, that's gonna be a personal opinion, guys. There's no wrong answer to that. There's no wrong answer to that. It's that they're such a huge band that they're generational. The Division Bell. The Division Bell is an album without Roger Waters. I didn't give that album a chance. I wasn't a big fan because to me, Pink Floyd has to have all of them, or at least the two main people that that I've grown to identify. It had to have Roger Waters and it had to have David Gilmour. If one of those were missing, at the time the Division Bell came out, which was 1994, I wanted nothing to do with it until I heard High Hopes. And that song changed how I felt about going to see that album or ever going to see them, in pieces, because they don't perform anymore. The last time they performed was the Live Aid thing that they did. Because there was a lot of damage done between the two primary members of the band. So, hello, Brad. Yeah, them boys and Buck, they almost choked, boy. And wow, I think Dak, he threw an interception that I need the POV from who the fuck he was throwing to. Because yeah. But I didn't have him as my quarterback today. Yeah, your secondary was bad. Your everything was bad. How did you win that game? Hello, Ray. How you doing?
Hey, Ray.
Yeah. I didn't watch the Steve Harvey show. I mean, Family Feuds. I know of Steve Harvey, but I wasn't really, watching him. I guess you're right, but the song, the time echoes and chants. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some of these songs, like if you're gonna hear a song at some point in your life that some other celeb is going to hear it at their point in their life. They're going to identify that song with that moment. So that moment might mean more to them than anything else. To me, I might hear that same song and be like, okay, it's great, but I really don't big a deal. When somebody says this is my favorite song and I'll listen to it, I'm like, sounds kind of lame. But then they'll explain to me what it means to them. And then that's all I need to hear, That's what music is to me. Yeah, when it comes to, and like I said, I wasn't alive. When Dark Side of the Moon was released. It was released 1 year before I was born. Clint, I think, was like 32. So yeah, he probably went to the concert for it. So but yeah. Can't wait to see him. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thanks for reminding me. I forgot to put them in the sponsorship. Yeah, I was giving away tickets to him all weekend long, and I got some more to give away tomorrow and Tuesday. The screening, for those of you who are local in Las Vegas, is on Wednesday, September 17th.
By the way, actually, I just saw earlier the Long Walk. So you sent anybody to that, or
yes, I did, and I saw that. Yeah. I saw that, and it was as intense as the 20 minutes that they gave us led us to believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. Like I said, I told you guys last night before. There's a different ending. If you're a Stephen King loyalist and you read the books,
yes, this does end differently from the book.
There's a significantly difference in those endings. I was kind of shocked at that. I thought the ending of the book, because like I said, I took me forever to get through that. I had started reading that a while back, but I had given up reading. But I found ways to read, and then I did an audio book, and I think my sister had it for me. The ending of the ending of the book is one way. I didn't like the ending of the book either. I didn't like the ending of that book. I don't like those type of endings. And Stephen King tends to do that to me. But the ending of the movie is not the ending of the book. So there you go for those of you who had to say.
Yeah, but it's like you said, it's as intense as the marketing is led to. I mean, there's again, without going into spoilers. I mean, these dudes end up walking for 100. How's it going, Max?
330 miles.
1 miles. I mean, that's how for again, and it takes. This unfolds over like the course of a week. I mean, the dudes are walking that, and so they definitely emphasize like the toll that takes on their bodies. I mean, one kid, he breaks his ankle, and he makes it like another 32 miles after that before it kind of ends for him.
The way it opened, like I said, we saw the scenes in that Comic-Con, and the first guy that goes, that I see why they blacked that out.
Mm-hmm.
That was, and that's what that round would do to your head at that range.
Yeah,
that's exactly the way it was.
Does not hold back.
And it is that kind of movie. Their injuries are gruesome. Literally a lot of gunshots to the head. That's not a spoiler, but that's what's happening to these guys. And the whole thing is just depressing. I needed to go watch anything after that. Not that bad.
I mean, it's definitely a tonal difference.
That movie fucked up my day. It really fucked up my day. And it's a quality movie, and I think it's gonna make a
it's gonna do it. Like, yeah, that's interesting compared to because the Mist also the movie changes the ending. The Mist changed the movie. The movie did it for the better. The movie made the right decision. Yeah, the movie has. I mean, the book. It's definitely not usually the case of the Stephen King book. Is that the book has the happier ending than the.
By the way, if we ever do The Stand the right way, I mean, if we ever do this, not The Stand, if we ever do The Dark Tower the right way, we ever do the right, you must change that fucking ending.
Well, first of all, it can't be in 90 minutes.
Well, that's not. No, what these books need to be, if we're gonna do a TV show movie, they need to start with the Gunslinger. They need to have the Eyes of Khaled. They need to have The Stand. They need to have Insomnia. They need to have they need to have a universe that ultimately wraps up in The Dark Tower, book 7. Here's the thing. You must change that fucking ending. That ending sucks. The ending, for those of you who have read The Dark Tower, that ending sucks. That ending aggravated me. I'm in my tent. Where were we at? We were in Kuwait. I was in Kuwait in 2004. I'll never fucking forget where I was at. When I was flipping through the book, shaking the book, hoping is there more pages? I read that last part again to be like, maybe I missed something. It's hot. I'm jet lagged a little bit. I'm still getting used to being out here in the 2,000-degree heat. Legit. Maybe I skipped something. Did the pages stick together? Something? Nope. Stephen King, fuck you for that. Because that ending of that book sucks. So, if we do the Dark Tower series,
go ahead.
Gotta change that.
I really dug. They comment on that. His cameo in chapter 2 when he's the guy running the antique store. That Bill has to go where they're getting like the stuff for the ritual of Chewed, and King has the cameo as the guy in the store. And he's commenting on one of Bill Denborough's books, and he says, "I didn't like the ending." So it's like, he has a little fun with that because that's the consensus. So is his seeing his Achilles heels endings.
And that wasn't just an ending to the book; that was the ending to the Dark Tower saga. That was everything that was built up to the culmination of that. So you just didn't have a bad ending to one of his books. You had a bad ending to the entire Odyssey. And I'm like, what the? So yeah, movie makers change it. Oh, okay. Hi Max, how you doing? Drinking much? Bruce's wedding was awesome. Okay, cool. I'm assuming you mean Brucifer.
Nah.
I'm assuming you mean Brucifer. Well, congratulations.
But yeah, they say, yeah, I'm definitely gonna be seeing that.
Wow, that's doing that well, huh? Okay, great. Listen, The Rock. Good luck, man. Good luck. I would love to see. If The Rock wins, I want him to do his speech in The Rock formula. Finally, The Rock
has come back to the Oscars.
To the Oscars. And I don't want him to. I don't want him to break character. I want him to stay in The Rock character for the whole.
Here's a good one.
Talking in third person.
Here's a good one. This would be like a real coup de grace. The hierarchy of power of the Academy Awards has changed.
Nah, don't say that shit. Nobody's gonna know what that means. Just keep it to The Rock and just have him. You know, it happens, and they're cheering my name, and have the Academy audience cheering Rocky. I mean, just literally don't be Dwayne Johnson at all. Be The Rock the entire time you're getting your statue, if you win. But I think I'm going to go see that. Not my type of movie, but I'm The Rock. You know,
or do you think it's like if you smell what The Rock is cooking?
Yeah, and the audience will eat that shit. Okay, we are talking about Bruce. All right, congratulations, Bruce. I know every now and then you pop in. Congratulations on your nuptials there.
Yeah, going back real quick to the long walk. I actually didn't realize when it first started that the major, that was Mark Hamill.
I didn't realize because I wasn't paying attention. Ray was sitting next to me.
Yeah.
He came out and gave that, that speech he gives.
Mm-hmm.
He gives that to you live at Comic-Con. And I'm like paying attention.
He's got
to other shit.
Cap and the sunglasses and the goatee, and they did something. He lowered his voice like an octave or something.
No. That's him. Because he sounds that same way in person. We were in the room with him.
So
he comes out. Yeah, he's
sounding a little more gravelly now.
He's a voice actor. He can do that stuff.
Yeah.
So he comes out, and even though his voice is like that, I'm like, because I can't. I'm sitting down, so I'm not really paying attention. And this guy comes out all this cussing and shit, and all this country's all. I'm like, oh, who the fuck is it? And then I recognize it's Mark Hamill, and I look up, and he's in the uniform, and they got the spotlight on him, and then.
A lot of swearing in this movie, guys.
Yeah, and then they bring out everybody else, and then but Mark Hamill talked about everything but The Long Walk, but it's fucking Mark Hamill, so I didn't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is what got me to say I'm going to go see that movie. Because then not only was his presentation cool because he's in character, the first minutes that they showed us, I'm like, okay, I had no plans. I always tell you, no plans of seeing this movie.
Has he ever been a good guy other than Luke Skywalker? Like offhand, can you think of any like hero roles he's had other than Luke? Because it's either Luke Skywalker or it's the Joker or the Fire Lord or the Major in Long Walk, or it's like two extremes. It's either Luke Skywalker or it's some kind of villain.
Well, Corvette Summer, he's a good guy.
Okay, that's true.
Nobody saw that movie.
Yeah, yeah.
William,
things people saw.
William, for the record, Mike Flanagan said he's doing the books adapted truly. It's Mike Flanagan is doing.
You're talking about the Dark Tower.
Mike Flanagan doing Dark Tower? Is that who's doing? Oh,
yeah. There's been some talk about that with Amazon.
No, Mike. No, Mike. No. See, we'll see if he changes the ending. He must change the ending. I'm not going to be in that theater if they string these along, and we take 15, 20 years or whatever, or however long it is to get to the Dark Towers, to get to book 7. I don't want to be sitting there when that ending happens. Don't be looking at me. Was that it? Because you know what? You know what's going to happen. They're going to be sitting in that movie waiting for the ending, and then the lights are going to come on, and I'll be like, I told you, just like Lost. Told you all you motherfuckers that Lost. I told you at the end of that second season, I was done with Lost. I would keep my eye on Lost, but I feel myself about to be fleeced. And then because we were doing watch parties for Lost. And I just stopped doing them. I'm like, this year. Are we gonna do watch party? Because I don't want you guys being pissed off in here, after I felt where Lost was going, and it went right where I thought it was going, and I'm like, oh. So yeah, I really hope they change the ending to that. Because like I said, the ending of the Long Walk is kind of lame. I'm sorry, it's lame. The ending to the movie is violently different than
well, not only that, but also it's a little bit ambiguous too. And you've seen, what I'm talking about, because I got a tiptoe around this. Like what happens?
They're both ambiguous, but there's an added element to the movie's ambiguity.
Yeah, because the way it plays out, it's kind of left open to interpretation whether this is real or in somebody's mind, maybe is the way to put it without spoiling it.
Yeah, so I'm Mike Flanagan, if you're watching this stream, you can do everything you want to up till the ending. Then you need to email me. I got a better ending. I just, oh my God, that ending makes me. Thank you for the $10 super chat out there. Thanks for your continued support on the show. Rational Skeptic, 2017. Wasn't very good. It had the potential to be a lot better than it was, but they weren't really focused. I mean, it just wasn't. It wasn't very. I didn't think it was awful, but I didn't think it was very good either. And it just shows you, just because you have an actor that's a draw, and it doesn't mean the movie's going to do well. Sophia Patel's in it, but I thought I didn't think they did. I don't think they did enough with anybody in that character. I think they were looking beyond the Mummy into their dark universe.
Yeah, I mean, they had the whole Miss Jekyll and Hyde thing in it too, and they had the Dark Universe like intro to it. And I really dig it. Every year, the Twitter like just pounces on that, like the Dark Universe account, that tweet they put out with the picture that had Tom Cruise and Sophia Botella and Russell Crowe all together. It's like, oh, the beginning of the Dark Universe. And everyone's like, quit tweeting, like, oh, waiting any day now for it. They definitely that's one where they definitely kind of put the cart before the horse.
Mike Flanagan, Mike Flanagan just seems busy right now. Well, I don't know when they're planning on doing. Yeah, because the Miss movie. I mean, you know what? I think if you redo Dark Tower's ending, he'll probably prefer that. He's open to his stuff being changed. He's not like Alan Moore. He's like, it's bloody rubbish. I don't want my stuff interpreted. I'm like, oh, dude, come on.
The one that he did kind of like he was more of a stickler on was The Shining. It's like, but that's like that's like changing the ending. That's like changing more the character of Jack in it, because that was autobiographical. That was
Well, yeah, he was partaking in the environment. If you know
exactly, yeah. So, and that was why they changed the ending of Doctor Sleep, the movie, because the movie is it's operating on like it's an adaptation of the book, which is a sequel to the novel, but it's also a sequel to the Shining movie. So it's having to kind of coordinate all of those. And what they did, they basically, the Doctor Sleep, the movie ending is the ending of the Shining novel. And so that kind of Stephen King, he really dug that, because that actually he was able to kind of like on a personal level able to kind of reconcile the Stanley Kubrick's movie with
give him props though. That guy was doing major drugs, and he was still able to jot this shit down. So congratulations, Tom.
He
4 miles.
He directed. He made his only time directing Maximum Overdrive, and he's by his own account was coked at, which I think that shows.
It shows. But good thing about that movie is Who Made Who by AC/DC.
Yeah, the soundtrack. Yeah, that soundtrack. That was my intro to AC/DC.
That's a good intro. That's a good intro to AC/DC. Who made and that dude that guitar. The guitar solo by Malcolm, Malcolm.
And
it was Malcolm.
The truck with the Green Goblin on it.
That's where a lot of people saw the Green Goblin for the
that's true. The first movie of the Green Goblin.
It's kind of shitty, but 4 miles an hour, I would have tapped out. All right, guys. I don't know. I've done ruck marches. I've done long road marches with the Army. With more, they were walking with nothing on, no rucksack.
Well, they had like a pack, but that's like with like water bottles and like those little squeeze tubes that you get ration. So
we were marching, dude. When we were marching in the Army, we would march so long that no shit, we were sleeping while we were still marching in step.
Oh, and that happens to a couple of guys in this movie too.
Yeah, we were in such a rhythm for so fucking long that you would wake up and somewhere else, and you're still in line. You have to keep a certain pace because when you're road marching, it's training, and you're supposed to be a certain amount in between each other, so that if a mortar hits you, it doesn't wipe out all of us. Which is kind of gruesome, by the way, but that's what they tell you. But we would start at like 9:00 at night. We would be marching till 7:00 in the morning at times, and you're just walking your leg. You can't feel nothing.
Yeah.
And,
well, yeah, but you're not going
80, you got 80 pounds. You got 80 pounds on your back, and you don't feel that anymore. It's like, you're not going 330.
Yeah. How far? That would be like what you get, like maybe like 40 miles with that.
What's like whatever 14, 15 at each time we would stop, but 50. What's 15K in miles?
Yeah, I would look that up real quick. But yeah, but it's for those of you who haven't read the book and the movie. I mean, the long walk, the way it works, it's a dystopian future where every year they have this ritual called the long walk, where 50 teenage boys are summoned to do this long walk. Where the winner, there could be one survivor, and that guy wins a big cash prize and gets one big wish granted. But they walk continuously until so that means there's no stopping, there's no sleeping, there's no eating. It's like this unfolds over like a week in the movie. this nonstop walking, and it's graphic about what it does to these dudes. And not just what it does to
Yeah,
them, but
their
like
feet are all fucked up. There's bones coming out of their ankle.
they have to like, and they got the militia following along with them, so they get like 3 warnings if you fall behind, and then you get your head blown off. So there's also the problem of if you need to relieve yourself, you know, how do you take care? There's a couple points where guys have to. One guy tries and fails, another guy like he's able to like do it swiftly enough. He just manages to pull it off. But again,
well, okay. And here's the thing, though. So the rules are you have to keep, you got 3.5 miles. You cannot fall below. And if you fall below, you get a warning. Now, if you get a warning, you get another, I think it's 3 hours or something like that. There's another, the warning drops off.
Yeah. So like you get 1 warning. If like for every warning you get, if you maintain pace for an hour after that, you get that warning removed.
Yeah. But if you get 3 at the clump, they shoot you.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, okay. The premise of this, at my fittest, at my army fittest, I don't care what you're offering. There is no fucking way I'm signing up for this. There is no way I'm signing up for this. Anything can happen to you. You could tweak your ankle. You could pull a hamstring. You could tear anything. You could crap up temporarily.
And these are all things that happen to these dudes in the movie, by the way.
I don't care. I don't care what it is. You're the world, your dreams. Okay. I'm going with the law of averages. 30 men and only one's making it. That means 29 other fuckers got shot. There's no other way. That's how you're dying in here. Point blank, M16 or M4. That's what they're giving you. So I'm not a mathematician, but I don't want to be on the end of those odds. I'm walking. I cross feet with somebody on accident. I twist my ankle. I can't walk anymore.
I've done that running where I've like rolled my ankle and I took a really good spill, and like that sucked.
I get dehydrated. Anything can happen to you,
or you have to go number 2 or number 1.
There's just no way I'm saying yes to this. There's no way, unless I'm going to cheat. Unless there's some drug I can take or some kind of superhuman serum that I'm Steve Rogers or whatever, or I can physically cheat, because the human body. And by the way, the book, it's a book, it's fiction. I understand. So we're gonna give it that defense. None of them people are making it. None of those people are making it.
Well, not this distance, no.
Not that distance. And the only way you would be able to do it is if there's just the last person standing. But there's not going to be that many people towards the end to where this shit is over halfway through the movie. No one's making it 331 miles.
It's days. They're walking through the rain. They're walking uphill.
Night, day. Yeah. It's not happening.
They are not allowed to stop at all. So until there's only one guy left.
Your body is not going to do that. Your body can make it that distance, but not under those circumstances. So all those guys are dead, maybe before the halfway of the movie. And if there's one survivor, the one guy who's lasting is midway through the movie. That's going to be it. We're not. So yeah, so yeah, Fly High. By
the way, you said it was 40K. 14.
14K, yeah, whatever.
Oh, yeah. That's only 8.7 miles.
No, we did more than that. Okay, then I was lied to.
Yeah, yeah, because I think like 8.
Well, okay, we marched till the drill sergeant said stop.
I mean, that wouldn't take you from 9:30 to 7 in the morning.
Nah, then it was more than that then, but it was started out at 14K because remember we had markers and it was dark, and what ended up happening is we had to. So if half of us fell out. The back end, we called them the turtles. So if they stopped, we had to go march around in a U-turn. We had to go get them. So we had to get behind them. So they could have fallen back a mile, right? So I'm like, hey, Joe Sergeant, why don't we just stop and wait for these guys? No, keep walking. All right, fuck it. Keep marching. Then do cadence did. So we would get to the point where we can't even fucking see these people anymore, right? They're little cam lights because we had our little lights and our little flashlights so that you could, it's a formation. You couldn't even see the little lights anymore. And I'm like, well, and we all knew what was going to happen. He's like, group halt, and then we're mark time march. Mark time march is when you're marching in place, and then they say half left, and then they do half left quarter. That means you're turning around, and I'm like, why are we turning around to get them now? They are literally miles away. We can't see them anymore. So we had to go get them, not just go get them. We had to go line up behind them and make it so that they were in the front now. We had to do that several times. You're not leaving your buddy behind. You left him behind. We just kept walking because you told us to. I said stop, but I'm not.
How many road marches did you have to do in 1 year?
For basic, it was 2 a week.
Yeah.
And that was 2 months, 2.5 months at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Probably, by the way, there's not much of anything I want to do for any length of time in Lawton, Oklahoma. Sorry, people who live in Oklahoma, but it is just nothing because it's a bombing range. So we're walking and we're marching and we're like, so we had miles added on to that. So just imagine doing that like 3 or 4 times, doing the whole of the 14K, which by the way, I do believe they were lying because when you're walking and you'd ask Josiah, hey, how many miles is this? They wouldn't fucking tell you. Because you start thinking that once you get in that into your head, if they told us we were walking 15, 20 miles, I'd be like, what the fuck? What did I sign up for? They just said, keep walking. See, what the whole thing was to build camaraderie and discipline. Focus on this and your body will do what you needed to do. You know, we had blisters and we had all that shit, combat boots, the old school combat boots. It's hot. We have our water. We call the Buffalo. The Buffalo, which is the little truck, like how the Major was in the truck behind you fucking with you. The water buffalo is there. And you could go up to the water and it went slow enough to where you could always get water.
Yeah. They do in this movie. They say, hey, my canteen's empty. I need a new one.
Yeah, and you could go up in the water buffalo. You just take your canteen. We had 2 canteens on us, and you would always have water. We would stop for our meals, the field hots. We had that, they gave us field hots for the road ride. They never gave us MREs for the road ride because they didn't want that shit jamming up in our digestive system while we're trying
which
to
it would have.
And which it would have. So we're not stopping for number 2. You can stop for a piss, and it was all male. It was an all male platoon, so we we didn't have to do. We hadn't worried about any other stuff. But yeah, we were ruck marching, and I'm like, okay, so the way basic worked back then, you would get a piece of something with each week, and that would be part of your training. You get cold weather gear 1 week, you get your rucksack, you get all this stuff. Okay, so you got it all at once, but you did not march with it. So your very first road march was with an empty rucksack. They built it up over time. And then when we ran out of shit to load us down with, we had little sandbags that they put in there. If it wasn't 80, they made it 80. They made it 80. And then, like I said, and it didn't matter if you were 5'5", if you were 5'10", 6'1", you were carrying the same weight as the guy next to you. And that's what they wanted you to realize, that whatever suffering you're going through, a whole bunch of people are going through with it. And that actually works. That's how I got through deployment. Deployment's like, oh, it was deployment. So it's what are we doing out here? What are we on the moon? All I see is sand. But everybody's going through it. When you're sitting on the tarmac waiting for your plane, your long ass plane flight for your eardrums to burst, everybody's going through it. And that's the thing about the military, especially during deployment and during training. It's shared misery. Before you start wallowing in, oh, I don't know if I can do this or not. Oh, this is miserable. You look around and everybody's saying the same fucking thing. And then you're like, this ain't so bad because that guy made it. I think that guy's a twerp. I think I can, so you start making it. And that's what the long walk reminded me of, is everybody was miserable, but they were sharing a miserable experience.
Well, and
most of them got through.
And that's what happened. These characters start forming a bond with each other, even though they know only one of them is going to make it. I know
that to me is like, okay, that I don't know if I could connect with that. I'm like, one of us could drop out and get kicked out of the army if we'll call failure to adapt. We're not getting blasted in the head. That's a big. Yeah. I couldn't relate to that. So,
you got to be trolling here, Larry.
Larry, dude.
The one
now, I know you partake in a certain plant. And I'm thinking maybe he had the whole tree that day. I don't know.
And you see, the one that really got me was the one kid who like he breaks his ankle and he's walking with like his ankle, like I'm really it's like folded in. I mean he's
Yeah,
walking with this,
that's yeah.
and that kid makes it like 30 miles with it before he
Which
finally
is not happening because you structurally cannot do that.
yeah.
You structurally, the way his ankle was, you could not do what he was doing.
Yeah.
And if you notice, they was film here and film, you cannot do that. And then you're gonna end up hurting something else because now you're not. No. How much for a Winter Soldier?
I'm down for that. I'm down.
I'd say 50.
What's the, and see the really, but it also kind of like illuminates like the when they get to one point in the march, one of the kids he has to take his shoes off because the bottom of his shoes start coming out, and they tell him it's like, hey, if you're walking like uneven like that, it's gonna slow you down. So he takes them both off, and you can see he's still got socks on, but you can see his feet are drenched in blood by that point.
Because the blisters are bursting.
I mean, every one of them, all their feet are just covered in blood inside their shoes. But he's the one you get to kind of see what that's looking like.
Yeah, I would go 50 for that rest. No, it was not a dream. At least I did not interpret it as one. But see, all right, so I was watching this with a group of people. I had already let go of Lost. They hadn't. So yeah, I perceived it as, I'm not spoiling it. I don't care if you ever watched that show. Yeah, they were dead. Yeah, there you go.
I mean, again, like I said, it might be a dream at the end of, or it might not be the end of the long walk. We don't know.
No, the long walk is pretty clear.
No, really, because the last couple of seconds there, it's like we with avoiding spoilers. We're again like just the change in scenery. Maybe do you get what I'm alluding to?
Well, that act was real. Whatever happened after that is something that they drifted off into, but that act, I am believe that is real.
Yeah, it's definitely real up to a point, and then there's again something that happens further that is open to interpretation.
Some people do. I interpreted it as trash. How about that? I interpreted that ending as absolute smoldering, just outright sewage. What they did to people. And then people are looking at me. I'm like, ask me. Don't ask me. I told you guys 2 years ago where this is going to end up. This was like Gilligan's Island. This reminded me of Gilligan's Island. I actually started singing the Gilligan's Island song with the watch party we would have. People got mad at me. Sit right back and enjoy it. All right, question. Do you think that sometimes great movies like John Carpenter's The Thing and Blade Runner are great movies that weren't appreciated at their time because of E.T.? Well, I don't know. I can't explain why The Thing wasn't, because The Thing is an excellent movie from first watch on. Blade Runner was complicated. Blade Runner is a complicated movie, and you have to be on that vibe to understand that movie and to enjoy that movie. And it was far ahead of its time. So yeah, I can answer for Blade Runner. I can't answer for John Carpenter Thing. By the way, I saw on the same weekend. So yeah, can't explain that part to you. Yeah, Larry, fine. You liked it. I didn't hate it because, like I said, I didn't go into those last couple episodes with any expectation other than I was going to be robbed. Listen, if somebody says I'm going to steal from you, if somebody comes up with a ski mask and a gun and says I'm going to rob you, and they rob me, then they give it. They met that. I knew after season 2 that I was going to be robbed if I continued to watch the show, of my time, of my soul. That ending of Lost was fucking soul crushing, dude. I'm sorry, Larry. I don't know.
I didn't even follow Lost. I didn't even follow Lost, but it's like I mean, I remember like the backlash the Game of Thrones ending got. It's like I knew enough about Lost to kind of like it too. Oh, this is like reminding me of like the reaction to Lost. Which one would you say like had the worst ending, like Game of Thrones or Lost?
I'll get back to that question. I'm trying to comprehend this. I don't want to alienate a huge part of our fan base here. And Larry's lost ending spoiled, not dead the whole time, but dead in season 6. Pretty awesome in my opinion. Come at me, bro. We need the 3-strike one, and it needs to last forever. That's okay with you? The way they handle it is okay with you, Larry? If it is, hey, man, listen. I have more power to you, Yomi. Had I not let go of that show, I would have had the same feelings about that as I did with Dark Tower. But there were clues that Lost is about to fuck you. There were clues that Lost is about to, like, hey, what do you, because you saw the story going, like, they started asking questions and exploring shit, and I'm like, oh, the Dark Tower did not do that until the Dark Tower book, the last book, book number 7. The Dark Tower, midway through that book, led me to believe that this is going to be everything that I hoped the Dark Tower ending would be. And as I got closer to the end of the book, I'm like, oh, fuck. And then as I just flipping those pages, I'm like, oh, fuck. This is how you're going to end this? This is some ambiguous bullshit. Listen, guys. If I buy your book, if I watch your show, if I go to your movie, if I buy into what it is you are selling and you are telling me a story, guess what I want? I want the story. I don't want scratch and sniff. I don't want multiple choice. This ain't trivia. I want you, the person who started the story, the person who carried me through the story to maybe, I don't know, in the story. Like I tell you, the plane ride ain't cool if the pilot bails out and said, hey, William, how about you give it a go? No, we're all going to die. All right. Completion is important to me. I know people are like, well, it gives you something to talk about. You know what? It gave me something to talk about. Like, what the fuck just happened? I hate that shit, dude. I cannot stand that. And then the whole M. Night Shyamalan, who are we here or are we not? Are we in heaven or are we dead? When did we die? I don't need to be asking those questions. You, Damon Lindelof, who I love. This is the one thing that you've done that just really and I think he was still running it at the time. He did it again. He did it again, sort of with Leftovers, but Leftovers, he did it in Leftovers in a way that I can tolerate Leftovers. The Leftovers was done in a way it was left for you to believe Nora's story, and I had no reason not to. But they gave you a possibility, and it was up to you to choose. As far as I'm concerned, he gave us a possibility that was supposed to be in that. With Lost, he's like, well, hey, what do you guys think? It's like you fucking gave up. Like, you know what? I'm tired of writing. What do you think? They're alive? What do you think? I want you to interpret. No! This ain't fucking poetry, dude. This ain't a haiku. You're not supposed to be sitting at the coffee shop trying to figure out what you said. Say it. Say it. You're the storyteller. Well, I meant for the audience to interpret. Okay, then refund me some of my money. You can't give me back my time. I came here for you and the story you had to tell. The end. Not the maybe. Not the, were you paying attention back when I may have switched the shells around and you never. Stop it. Like, stop trying to outsmart yourself. Lost. I'm sorry, Larry. I have to part with you. I will come at you on that one. Because no, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was, like I said, I had people that were like, hey, you don't know what you're missing, man. You should have gave up on Lost. They were looking at me. They didn't want to say it. You could see the look on their face. You could see the blood leaving their face as they realized that they were in the wrong place. that they were not getting a refund on that time spent. That time is gone. And all the oh, I think this is going to end this way. I'm guaranteed this is the way it's going to end. This is what it's been leading up to. Everything's been leading up to this. Led you like buffalo off a cliff, and you went willingly. And I was telling you years ago that, hey, buffalo, there's a reason why that brown part stops and that blue start begins. That's the sky, and that's the end of the cliff. You're headed there. So, and how many episodes was that fucking series, dude? I can't remember what.
Yeah, it ran like it had to be over 120.
6 seasons of that. And like I said, you start getting that sense at season 2. And I kept my eye on it. So remember when the shit was dragging people into the bushes? Because they made it a big monster and all. And when I was like, what? When I found out what that was, I'm like, okay. How did that end up on the island? What's going on? And every answer to the questions that they posed in Lost was like breadcrumbs. It was like breadcrumbs. And you know how when you're trying to catch like an animal and you have the little stick and the little box and the little thing is tied to the stick, so when the animal goes in there, the box drops on them. That's where I saw the endings of Lost going with. I'm like, that's a trap, isn't it? I don't think I'm going. So yeah, how many episodes? 121 episodes. Woo! The series fin. Oh, can I? Should I spoil this right there? All right, fuck it. If you don't want to hear about how this ends, if you don't want to hear about here, let me do this because I feel like I need to. I owe Larry, you know, to come to an understanding of why I thought this was hotness. All right, the season finale reveals that the Flash sideways timeline is actually a form of purgatory in the afterlife, where some of the survivors and other characters from the island are reunited after death. In the last scene, pushing the vomit down, the survivors are all reunited in the church where they move on together. I'm sorry. That's bullshit. All right. I remember that. What is this? What is this? You know, it's not like The Sopranos, where that blackout ending, where everybody was calling Cox Cable, wondering if their shit went down. And I was one of them. I'm like, hey, Cox, my dude, I'm watching the end of Sopranos, and the shit just went to black. You guys owe me a refund. This is like one of the biggest shows. I don't care how many people were. I don't care if your system went down. Turn my shit back. And then I see the credits. I'm like, what?
So it's a little bit like the cable guy with like that trial that gets cut off when he lands on the satellite. That's what I
thought it was. Dude, everybody thought. I was watching it. I had a roommate who was watching it in another room, and we're all. He came in. Is your TV okay? Is your cable not? Dude, and it was just they went black. So yeah, I'm sorry. I what no, and then it actually get because we had me and a buddy while we were we were on AT training mission. I think because when did this end? This ended in this ended in 2010. So we had Fort Irwin. We were at Fort Irwin. That's how boring. That's what Fort Irwin will do to you. It made me review this series. He had them all on the DVD, and I'm like, oof. And then they have all the after stuff and the explanations, and I'm like, just stop it. Yeah. Not is it the worst ending? Okay, so go back to Game of Thrones. Thank you for the super chat, Larry. I'm sorry, I can't join you on this religion. I'm sorry. I'm off my rock, dude. Thank you for the.
He's really generous with the super chats tonight.
William Rocker rocket explanations are great. Lost rules are good. No, dude, no. But that's okay. Like I said, it's like music. It hit you at a point where you could accept what they were doing to you. Okay. I am, my mind works differently. Like I just explained to you, some people are okay with that ending because how they intake entertainment and storytelling. I'm not one of those. If I pay for something, I want it. When I order food, I don't want you to give me an idea of my hamburger. Give me the fucking burger. I don't want to have to imagine my fries. The fries better be there. Don't do what they did to me. Now, Game of Thrones.
So don't give you like the hook food, basically. Don't give you like the hook,
Yeah.
like imagination meals.
Game of Thrones is Game of Thrones season 8 as bad as Lost? I think it could be worse, actually. I think it's actually worse. See, like I said, I had let go of Lost. It's like the girl, you know she's going to cheat on you, and you know who she's going to cheat on you with, you know, but you're having fun. She's hot, but she starts, you know, calling you by his name accidentally and all that stuff. She's starting to get the clues that maybe this is not going to last, you know. And so when she says, okay, big shocker. All right, nice, you know, it was fun. That's where I was at with Lost. So I wasn't hanging on to the car being drugged down the highway like everyone else was with Lost. So, you know, Game of Thrones, I was a card-carrying cult member of Game of Thrones from episode 1 till its final episode. And that ending was a pile of walking horseshit. That ending insulted us. That ending insulted everybody who paid attention to every detail that those guys laid out for 8 years. That show, over the 8 years that it was on the air, introduced elements that never were done or spoke again. Whole characters and storylines just disappeared at the end of their run. It was almost like they were like, you know what, we just want to get this over with. And I'm like, when you reach that level of mentality, turn it over to somebody else. The ending of Game of Thrones and Dexter for that matter, and Dexter New Blood. See, when you have a show like that you basically train your audience to be intelligent and pay attention to the details and everything. Watch closely because this is going to mean something. There will be a test. And then you decide not to even play by your own rules. You decide to take us as if we weren't paying attention. Accept this, you know, why you guys get all pissed off? You should accept this ending. I'm like, I played by your rules. I went where you wanted me as an audience member to go. You put these things over the 8 seasons because they were there for a reason. You always said these things are a reason. We'll get back to that. Then there wasn't. And then you come up with the absolute dumbest fucking ending that I've ever seen for an intelligent show like that. So for those of you who haven't watched Game of Thrones, so I need to listen. I'm not even going to. The ending does not worthy of the quality of the show. The last couple of episodes, everything you can stop after episode 3, Battle of Winterfell. Episode 3, season 8, just stop. If you are loving Game of Thrones and you get to season 8, episode 3, one of the great episodes of television of all time, period. Game of Thrones or otherwise. Episodes 4, 5, and 6, which there were only 6 of that season, are fucking horrible. They don't make any sense. They don't play by their own rules. And they make you look like a fool. Like, I'm going to tell you one thing. Okay, listen, I will spoil something here. Hold on. I'm going to spoil something for Game of Thrones because I know some of you have more. So when you see this go away, okay, episode like 5. Dragons flying around an open sky, open ocean. It gets hit by 2 harpoons and gets killed. One of her dragons. Which is complete bullshit. Because harpoons or spears or whatever the fuck you want to call them are a line of sight thing. Which means the dragon would have seen that entire fleet of ships shooting at it and would have evaded that, and it would have never happened, and those dragons would have fried that fleet. And you know why I'm right about that? Because guess what happened 2 episodes later? The same fleet was trying to hit one dragon and missed every time, and the dragon came in at an angle and fried the fleet. So they got to the point where they were just starting to kill things off and people off just for effect. And then the whole Danny turning, it was a whole thing was just a mess. And wow, who's going to be the king now? Oh, it'll be Bran because Bran's worthy. I'm like, what? What? And Tyrion, the whole thing, Jon Snow, why did you reveal who he was? You went through years to build up his secret identity of who he was, and it meant nothing. It's like you throw your dog the invisible bone. That was me chasing the bone. Felt like a fool at the end of that. House of Dragon.
You know what you were? You were a dog chasing cars. You wouldn't know what to do with one if you caught it.
House of Dragon helped, but even House of Dragon, I got a lot of people. I had to build my watch parties up for House of Dragon because so many people were just aggravated at that end. And then the Benoit and Best or whatever, I forgot the names. They were like, "Well, fans are being unreasonable. That's the ending we always plan." I'm like, I don't fucking believe you. I'm sorry because I can point back, and there's like a meme. There's a meme with them to it. Because every time a fan would bring up something that they introduced and they never came back to, they would have we kind of just never got around to that. And it kept showing the meme over with like 10 or 14 different things throughout the 8 years that we never got back. They literally built that show on the backs of the White Walkers and the threat of the White Walkers. And the way that show ended, and the deaths of the people that died at the end, their deaths were like, they're like, if you want like Talia from the Dark Knight Rises death, that whole last couple of episodes were those deaths. So yeah, but see, difference between Lost is like, I see you coming. Game of Thrones is like, I didn't see that coming. I did not. It was exact opposite effect. So yeah, and then Dexter was just fucking stupid. Dexter's last season for Dexter's original, and then Dexter New Blood was offensively bad. But guess what? Dexter Resurrections healed my wounds. Dexter Resurrection. If you like Dexter and you gave up on Dexter, rightfully so, especially after New Blood, you owe it to yourself to go watch Resurrection. It is some of the best Dexter that they did. All right, why is the word Brad hot dog? What is Axel doing? What are you doing?
Burger pants.
What are you guys? Is this fourth even? Is the ghost of fourth haunting my chat and he's not even here?
Burger pants, bed, burger pants. Okay.
Yeah, Larry, are you high? That would explain you loving that indie. Cedric Bob, this guy doesn't want to wear the ribbon. You must wear the. Okay. Now Williams Fly is here. All right, let's go down. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, Larry. I cannot go with you on that Lost journey. Lost it's actually perfect because that's what you did. You lost. You lost time. You lost. Like I said, I think you lost your soul in that. Breaking Bad, Williams Fly, Brad trying to catch a fly episode because William cares about product. I'm lost there. Sorry. What Leftovers is great. Leftovers. It's depressing. I don't know if there's any happy moments in it. To be honest with you, real honest with you, I don't think there's one bright spot of that show. But it's brilliant. It's only 3 seasons long, and I loved it. And like I said, Lindelof. I can't say he can do no wrong because he did wrong, but he's done more right. William, you have to admit the ending of Sopranos was kind of worse than Lost because at least Lost kept you guessing. They just kept like, they didn't keep me guessing. I guessed right. See, I guessed with this car. Like I said, it's like if you're in an Uber and you know where you're supposed to be dropped off and you turn down the hood, you turn down the neighborhood where there's the shoes hanging from the telephone wire and there's no street lights. It's not going to end well. So yeah, Sopranos was like excellent up until that point. And to be honest with you, David Kay said what he was going for. I don't like that. I gave you 7 seasons? I gave you seven years of my life. I gave you 7 years of my attention span. You can't reward me with having me sit around and guess. What happens? I watched the show to get to this point. I stuck with you so that we would ultimately end up here, and now you're telling me there is no here. So I don't like that. I don't like ambiguous endings in anything. I don't like gray area endings. I don't like being swerved to the point where, oh, you didn't see that coming, did you? I'm like, yeah, maybe I didn't, but it was fucking dumb. How about that? So yeah, I'm not a big fan of those type of things. And like I said, I was not a fan of The Sopranos when it did. Does it hurt the overall of the show? No, it's a moment, but that episode, by the way, the episode of Sopranos, it's called Made in America. Oh my goodness. It's dude, if you're in if you watch mafia movies and things like that and weren't watching Sopranos, I don't know what to tell you, because that last season when they go to war at Phil Tardo, and all the principal people start taking hits. I mean, it's and at the end of it, it's just like, William, do you think J.R. Martin's ending the winter will be dead? It's never going to end. That's another con game. It's another con. How old is he? He's been writing Winds of Winter since before the first episode of Game of Thrones.
I'm telling you, it's like he's got it in his will. It's like it's like he's finished with them, and they can only be released posthumously.
No, it's not done. It's not done because I don't think HBO
he's saying publicly.
That's
you
will not shit.
You will not get a bigger troll move than that. It's like he's finished them. He's bullshitting us about it, and they're all going to be released posthumously.
And they're not. Be honest with you, they're not really relevant. You know why? Because nobody reads the books anyway. 90% of the Game of Thrones fan base is going to be watching that show. You know how many people that were at my watch parties didn't even know they were books until I had all the books on the shelf. I said, here's the books. Oh, okay. So guess what? You don't want to release Winds of Winter? I'm not going to care. The show goes past Winds of Winter, so don't care. If you George R. R. Martin, if you never release that, I got the show. I got what I needed out of you. Sorry.
That's what I would do. It's like
nobody. Well, you could do it. Nobody's going to care.
Nobody
up. Listen.
That'd be Andy Kaufman. That'd be Andy Kaufman shit.
No. If somebody cared, yeah. But Game of Thrones to America is the show. Game of Thrones to America is not the books. We're past that. That's it. What was your opinion on the? Oh, here we go. At the time, I was pissed. Almost lost a good TV at the time. I'm about to shake the shit out of that TV. Checking my fucking connections. Seeing if everything's right.
No, were you that guy? You were probably that guy. Have you seen that one video of the guy who like loses the basketball team? The one team wins and he like throws his remote and then the chair and he destroys his own TV.
No, not yet. I've done that. I've seen that. I've nearly done that during hockey games. But yeah, no, I was and then now what did he say? He said that he dies, which is like, okay, you could have at least shown somebody walking up to the guy. I mean, the whole her parking for all that and that intensity. I'm like, oh my god! And then you look at all the people that are still alive that are enemies of him that are all walking through that bar, and then whack. I'm like, oh, what's going on here? I have mail. It's midnight already. Okay, cool. I mean, and that's the thing, right? Give me the definitive answer in 06 when the show ends. I should not be disgusting into my old age. Hey, so what about that ending, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago? Huh? Oh, what I really meant to do was that okay? Was that on your mind back then? Well, yeah, but then why didn't you say it? Yeah. Oh, this is all. Yeah, we're let's see. Thank you for the $5 super chat. They created their own afterlife, pre-actual afterlife, hard sci-fi. Okay, buddy. Yeah, you really could have requested just a watch party. Want to watch Lost? No. They did it when they blew up the hydrogen bomb and negated their timeline. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'll give you an idea of fries and burgers. No. If I pay for fries and burgers and you bring me, hey, here's a concept. Here's how I think this burger is going to look. Here's how I think these fries are going to taste. I'm going to be like, I know what a refund feels like.
Here's a burger that might be good. He just says, I'll tell you why the burger might be good.
Lord of the Rings, if you say so, dude. I Lord of the Rings literally bores the eyebrows off my face.
Yeah, I've never been a Lord of the Rings guy.
Let's see. Yeah, that was stupid. I remember how I felt when Tyrion first brought that up as idea. I think we should choose Bran as the king. I'm like, are you? Whoa, what the fuck? What are you doing here? You got the king there in a cell. You got the man that we've been building up this entire show. His lineage, his birth lineage, his entire show. You got him in the cage. When he uttered that, I'm like, I got that cold. I was already kind of like pissed off because the previous episode wasn't that good. But you know that cold feeling where everything just is going away. And I'm like, what? And then Bran's like, why do you think I came all this way? I don't fucking know. I'm still trying to figure that out. And that show's been off the air since 2018. Bran the Broken is now king. And what was Grey Worm thinking? Why was that acceptable to you? Spoilers. Why was that acceptable to you, Grey? Or were you were one of the smartest, craftiest characters in the show. You went stupid like immediately. You went from Fred and Velma to fucking Scooby immediately. Well, if he goes beyond the wall and in exile, then this is acceptable and we will leave. You get on your boats and go. What's to stop him from getting on his horse and coming back, dumbass? Everybody that we were watching that with had a better ending than that. And none of us are being paid to give you one. I hated that ending to that show. And I think that really, like I said, my watch parties at season 1 of House of Dragon, people were like, hey, want to come out to watch House of Dragon with us? That last, yeah, I know, I understand, but yeah. And then House of Dragon was superb. And it's now building the audience back up. And like I said, yeah, that was such a, when he said it, I couldn't believe it. Because when he said we need to choose king, who should be the king? And I'm like, I'm sure of obviously who it's going to be. I'm like, it's got to be him. And when that guy wasn't on the bingo. Bran was not on the bingo card. He wasn't even on the ink ones that you bring and put on the paper. He wasn't on any of those cards. Yeah, not really. I can tell you where to stop. Where are all these new games? Well, you have the Night of the Seven Kingdom. That's filmed. That's just looking for an air date. You have House of the Dragon season 3. That's coming up this spring. So you got those two. House of the Dragon, like I said, it's an expensive show to film because you have to film it there at the time. Like they delayed season 8 because they wanted to be in an area that was completely covered by snow when the White Walkers got. That's how they filmed that show. But yeah, William, what did your reaction be to George R. R. Martin changing anyone? Like I said, don't care. There are things in the book that were changed. There are characters that don't even exist that are in the show that are not in the book. There are things that happen differently in the book that are, and once again, because you only have at the book's end, we run out of book in season 4. At the end of season 4, once you roll into season 5, the books are done. All the books that are published are done. So everything that happened from season 5 on was what the showrunners did. Yeah, you haven't seen Resurrection, you're gonna love Resurrection. If you have any love left for Dexter after New Blood, you will be rewarded. You will be rewarded for giving Dexter a chance. No, not for people following Game of Thrones and following that whole story. That wouldn't have been he would have. That would have been the appropriate ending. That's how that shit should have ended. Leftovers is about a there's like a blip. Okay, think of like Marvel and the Thanos snap like that, where a percentage of the population just disappears. And the people that are left over, it's about them dealing with that, these people in their lives missing, and where did they go, and these cults and all these things that just go about that. And then there's a reason, and there's a reason. I don't want to spoil this for you because it's good shit. It's science fiction. I'll leave it there. It's science fiction. Wow. But yeah, the last you start to understand it in the third season. But yeah, Lost. It's a quick watch, by the way. It's a quick watch. It's 3 seasons, I think 10 episodes each. It's a quick watch and it's good. They won Emmys for that. I'm slightly high. No, Larry. I think you're not just doing a bowl. I think you got a tree. I think you got a flamethrower. If you thought Lost was a good ending, you got a flamethrower and you're eating in it. The tree of cannabis is on fire. It's like the burning bush. Yeah, 3% of the world, and it's those people, and you're figuring out, everybody has their story, and how it affected them, and you're telling it from their POVs. I love that series. Breaking Bad was great all the way to the end. Very disturbing to watch. It's one of the most disturbing shows I've ever watched. Okay, $5. Thank you for the support. For everybody sending cheap chats. If I haven't, thank you. What would the reaction be if the ending of Winds of Winter book is better than the show, and you think George will ever? Well, it's I doubt it. I doubt it would be better than the show, but I don't know. Will he ever finish Winds of Winter? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. And I don't. It doesn't matter now because, like I said, Game of Thrones for me is the show, and Winds of Winter goes in different areas because remember, in Winds of Winter, there's another one of Rhaegar's kids that's not, they don't follow the same lineage, so it's not going to matter to me because the error that they chose to go forward through with the show is the one I don't give a fuck about anybody else. Once that story was revealed to be true, I'm like, oh, I remember being in the we would get like 70, 80 people for these watch parties and everybody cheering because they had hinted when they finally confirmed it. We were like, yeah. So yeah, don't care. Thank you for the $5 super chat, but like I said, I'm done with George R.R. Martin. I did not see the ending of Angel, so I can't tell you that one. Yeah, he's dead in the books, and he doesn't. Obviously, if you watch the show, that doesn't remain the thing. I can imagine William shaking the TV like, "Hey, dude, I was checking the connection, man. I was on the phone with the cable company, and like I said, I was on hold, and then I saw the credits. I'm like." And like I said, when I started getting, I think my dad called me. I know my roommate came into the room because he watched the show, but we were watching it. I was watching in my room. He was watching in the living room. He came in, knocked on the door. He's like, "Hey, is your TV okay?" I'm like, I got a black screen. I'm like, "So do I." I'm like, "Ooh, what the fuck?" So yeah. I kind of like the black screen more than I would just seeing them go to jail. His family reaction, him getting shot. I don't like unanswered questions like that. And now, like I said, you have to get his son to play him again to do that. But I just don't like. I followed you to the end of the journey, and I looked around, and you ain't there. Where are you at? You're the guy with the keys to the gate. How am I getting in? What are we doing here? I don't like that. That's sort of still eligible. If you were starving, you could eat that, Ray. Oh shit, damn. Oof. Holy fuck. That's a loaded question, so now. All right, Mindhunters is up there. Continuous TV shows, X-Files. Well, see, all my favorite ones have bad halves, but X-Files. These are tough. Wow, I got to think about that one. So Mindhunters, X-Files. Oh, I mean, you got Star Trek, Voyager, Star Trek Next Generation. I mean, Sopranos is up there. Sopranos has got to be up there. For like, I mean, I can't take like 5 seconds away. So yeah, there you go. But man, there's so many that could change. You want to answer that, Brad?
5 favorite TV shows. I definitely put Avatar and Legend of Korra in those. We're with Superman, Lois on there in that list as well. What else did
Of your entire life?
of my top 5 favorite TV? Yeah.
All right.
What else did I? Power Rangers is definitely very formative for me.
Never mind. This is boring. The shit out
And
of me.
then what time I'm listening? What you talking about being a Power Rangers guy on here?
Yeah, I can't put my favorite show like since you've been on the spinning globe. Okay.
Well, okay, it was very part of my, formative years, Power Rangers. I'm trying to think of any others I might. I might need to get back to you on that too.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Full like top 5 for like my whole life. Yeah.
Okay.
Usually I don't like doing top 5s. I prefer to like have like a top 10. I like to have fair amount of.
Yeah, I'd probably have to do a 20. Rhea. Here's the thing. I'm not being paid to pick up. That's the whole point. I came to the Shakespeare's for this. I know I'm a fucking moron. I came to be entertained. I didn't come to outdo Damon Lindelof on Lost. I didn't come to outdo David Kay over Sopranos. I did not come to compete with you over the end of your story. It's your story. It's not my story. We did not gather millions of people to hear what William had to say. We gathered to hear what the guy at the top of the credits had to say. Yeah, I could have got up and said, here's how I would have ended it. What's that gonna do? The hierarchy was established here. I'm the audience. You're the storyteller. I shouldn't have to pick up a pen and make a masterpiece. I paid for you to do that, storyteller. If I got to pick up and fill in the holes of your story, you're in trouble. It's just like me flying the plane. Guess how that's going to end? All I'm saying is beginning, middle, end. Beginning, middle, end. Land the plane. Keep me guessing. Don't twist and swerve me out of being entertained. There's a certain way and like I said, once you have developed your own rules and consistency in how you tell the story, stick with that. That was the biggest problem with Game of Thrones. It's not that it was rushed and it was bad. It was not consistent with the rules that they set up for their show. They did things outside of the infrastructure of their show. They built an audience based on these things, and they were not consistent with the audience that they built. And that's a problem. So, yeah, hey, man, Underrated actor. I mean, probably some of these guys who are like character actors that I can never name, which is a lot of them. Like some of them pass away, and I'm like, who was that guy? And then you look at the list of movies that they were in. I'm like, oh shit, I really did know who you were. We're talking about flies landing on food now. Oh my goodness. John already took the vows of the white. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, a Mighty Ratchet, because you know why? You know why he was able to leave? Because he died. Till death. Till death. He was dead. He is no longer obligated. That's when remember when he hung those fools for killing him, and when she bought him back, he was done. He died. He was resurrected. So life was over with. So That's where his situation was unique to everyone else. He could now go on and do whatever the hell he wanted to. Yeah, and like his guy, his Uncle Eamon, yeah, he couldn't take the cone, but that guy never died. When he died, it was for good. It was of old age. Okay, William, I'll admit I'm very high. I and slightly drunk and lost rules, but you're right about Game of Thrones. Yeah, Game of Thrones is just like, ugh. Hey, Chappie, this is I'm about to end the show, but post these questions in the comments and I'll answer them there individually. Boardwalk Empire was too short. Boardwalk Empire was man, you get connected to fools on that show. They'd have some epic death scenes. Like, oops, okay, don't get attached to them. X-Files, seasons 1 through 4. It's some of 5. Seasons 1 through 4. Season 4 of X-Files may be one of the greatest overall seasons of a show, to be honest with you. Episodes 17 and 18, Tempest Fugit and Max, are the 2 best episodes of X-Files. Period. Of all the episodes that they did, Tempest Fugit and Max were the 2 best episodes of X-Files. You can give those 2 episodes to anybody who has never watched X-Files. And if you wanted to explain to somebody what X-Files is about, why does he care about all this? Why does his search? Why is he obsessed with this? You could give them Tempest Fugit, which ironically does not have a lot of the signature characters in it, but the bones of that story, you understand why Fox Mulder is as intense as he is, why the truth matters, why it all matters. Those 2 episodes, if you ever wanted to jump into X-Files, you can jump into those episodes first. Smallville ended. That's the good thing about it. Yeah, I know I'm a bad writer. I mean, I can come up with some pretty cool ideas, but I'm going to need some help. And like I said, I'm not the guy on the hook to give you the ending. You are, storyteller. How you doing, Hosea? 92. Yes, X-Files is definitely working out. Like I said, those 2 episodes I gave you, but if you started from number 1 all the way to the final episodes of 4 and maybe halfway through 5, after season 5, it starts to go in directions that I just think it was time to end the show. William, did you know Harrison Ford hated doing the monologue? Yes. He had to be made to do it. Both him and Ridley Scott hated the voiceover. So did Hampton Fincher. But Alan Ladd said he made them do it. That's why he kind of half-assed to do it. Yep, exactly. Yeah, if you read if you watch the 7-disc, the set that I got in the briefcase, watch Dangerous Days, they explicitly say that he did not want to do that. But Alan Ladd was 100% correct, because that movie, he watched that movie without it, and he knew that the audience was already going to have a problem with it anyway. And without those voiceovers, most of us, I would not have understood the movie. I'm 8. I'm probably a different breed. I probably wouldn't, shouldn't have been there. But I know people who are grown-ass people who have watched the director's cut without it and had to ask 1,000 questions. So imagine putting that movie in the theaters and having those issues. My top 5 in order: Power Rangers, Dragon Ball Z, X-Files, Wonder Woman, and Home Away. Oh wow, Home Away. That's Penny Dreadful was too. Carnival was short too. There was a couple of shows that weren't long. D Space Nine is going to next upset. Got to do more than 5, but the first 3 seasons of D Space Nine really wasn't gravitating. Excuse me. You could. Blade Runner definitely has an ending. Blade Runner 2049 has an ending. It's just, are you figuring out? Your only question is K dead or alive? Which, if you don't answer that question, it's not relevant to the story whether he lives or dies, because you're led to believe you're never going to see him again anyway. But he wasn't the point of the story. That what happens right before he lays down in the snow was the point of the story, the child and all that. So I'd have to say that they had endings. All right, we're going over a little bit, so we're about to wrap it up here. William, Honest question. The writer of Blade Runner said that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Dude. All right.
I mean, he did. He did. Please tell us why you disagree with the writer. Please tell us why. Right from the horse's mouth.
No. See,
It doesn't count. It doesn't count with the people involved. Yeah, just tell
the
us.
horse's
Please tell
mouth. Obviously, you don't know who the horse is.
Yeah, the horse is the rider soldier. He
The
linked it
horse
up
is
with
Ridley
Blade
Scott.
Runner. Does Ridley Scott? Has he offered a counter argument?
There's no argument. You have to have an argument to have a counter argument.
I'm gonna Google this right now.
Ridley Scott has explicitly said what his franchises are and they are not. So if the writer of Soldier intended for it to be that way, it doesn't mean shit. I can write something and say, you know what? I want my Mickey Mouse story to be part of Blade Runner. It doesn't mean shit. If Hampton Fincher didn't say it, doesn't mean shit. If Ridley Scott didn't say it, doesn't mean shit. Everybody else can affiliate as much as they want to. I can get a fucking tattoo of Ridley Scott on my jawline and say I want to join his cult. But that, you know.
Yes, the film Soldier is considered a sidequel or spin-off of Blade Runner. It was written
Not
by
by
David
Ridley Scott.
Webb Peoples.
Right there. Stop it.
Original Blade Runner.
All right. I'm going to say this slowly for you guys.
Original Blade
I'm
Runner.
going to say this slowly for you guys. For you guys who are watching. If it ain't Ridley Scott saying it, it ain't shit. I want you to, if you're in your front of your computer, if you're on your phone, if you're in your car listening to us, I want you to pull over to the side of the road, get out of your vehicle, and put your hand on the hood and say after me, if it ain't Ridley Scott, it ain't shit in regards
But
to
if he
that.
did he run this by him? He presumably ran this by him, Ridley Scott. So he's speaking on behalf of Ridley Scott here. But he's Ridley Scott's representative here.
Until Ridley Scott comes out and says it, like he explicitly says everything else that he wants known, ain't shit. Get that shit off the screen.
Okay, then that's how we're. If was he at Comic Con this year?
Off the screen.
Does Ridley Scott go to Comic Cons with any regularity? Because if he does, I'm
Doesn't go
asking
to
him
any
point blank, and I'm
cons.
getting that shit on tape.
Any cons? Exactly. You actually can't do anything with Blade Runner without him because he created these versions that they're going on. He's the executive producer. He has the only. You're not going to get. If it ain't coming from Ridley Scott, Sir Ridley Scott,
I'm
it
getting
ain't
this
shit.
shit on tape when he's in a con.
Hey,
I'm
get
asking
shit
him.
off the screen. Get that shit off the screen.
Yes, the film.
All right, guys.
Spin off of Blade Runner per the writer of Blade Runner.
Yeah. You put that. You bring
Writer
up
of
some
Blade Runner
AI
who Ridley Scott
bullshit.
could not have made.
That you
Runner
know what that AI bullshit? It's just soup that knuckleheads put into. So big fucking deal. But once again, I like I said, I am like a cardinal. I am a bishop in the in the church of Blade Runner, and we ain't
we're charging you with heresy now, Cardinal.
We ain't pop no white smoke for any bullshit that is just wanting to be part of
heresy.
You can't get in. You can't get into the Vatican just because you won't. You want to come in and visit. Nah,
Cardinals heresy.
Yeah, sure. And that movie's not even that good.
The hell is
nor its sequel.
Soldier's awesome.
You're comparing that shit. You're attaching that shit to Blade Runner?
Yes, I am.
You know my response
I didn't
to that.
attach it. The writer did.
If it ain't Ridley Scott,
He
repeat
ran
after
it by
me.
Ridley Scott.
If it ain't, you were there for that conversation?
It's a very strong.
You were there for that conversation.
It goes.
Have you heard that bullshit come from Ridley Scott's mouth?
It goes that saying.
No, that fucking thing goes
Just like Aaron and I
that?
being siblings, it goes that saying.
Thanks for fucking up the show, everybody. All right, that's it. I think we've answered way too many questions and gone way too many places.
We're doing Watch Party
now,
Soldier, guys.
Now we're you not for free. Fuck that. You have to pay me to watch that movie.
Hey, guys, ante up. It's got Jason Scott Lee, taking on Kurt Russell in it. Come on.
There's plenty of other Kurt Russell movies I can watch that I don't need to watch.
Russell got jacked as hell for that too. He worked out for like a year and a half just to get into shape for that.
It's because he was kind of getting old by the time that movie.
He wasn't that. Well, he was only like, what? He was like 42 or something at that point.
That movie came out what, 96,
98.
Oh no, he was in his 50s. Well, maybe mid 40s because he's what, 75 now.
He's about mid-70s now. Yeah.
How old is Kurt
It's
Russell?
like Ridley, it's Kurt Russell. It's like that's the thing. Is like he's he's in that.
1951, 74. So you subtract.
Oh, so he would have been like about 46 at the time.
Yeah, so you would have to work out. Let me look.
Oh, well,
at
he
this.
did. I mean, so I mean, he is.
Well, all people listen. All people can
Yeah.
work out.
No, but really, no, really. He. I mean, it's like it. He. Look, I mean, guys, I'm serious. Check out Soldier because A, it's an awesome movie, and B,
No, it's
Russell
not.
got jacked in it. He got jacked, and he had to because he's fighting. He's fighting Bruce Lee in it.
And this is the
They're
movie that
and they're hanging off
a lot
chains
of
when they do it.
people. A lot of people, and this movie was not good.
It had Gary Busey. It had
It had Connie. I mean, Nielsen, Sarah Pat. I mean, it had some. It lost a lot of money.
like Mystery Man's become a cult classic.
I don't quite hate this movie because it was just 90s shit that just came out. You saw it and you moved on. But when you tried it, this movie's not.
Well, because
not
for
good.
those of you who haven't seen it, basically what it is it's it's set in the future where Kurt Russell's kind of like this genetically programmed soldier, and then this new breed of augmented soldiers comes along. He sort of gets kicked to the curb, and he gets thrown onto this one colony planet, and he ends up defending them from his his former comrades. So it's kind of the plot of Soldier.
Yeah. In an interview conducted with Danny Stewart for Stewart's book about the movie, published in 2023, when asked if Soldier was initially conceived as a side sequel to Blade Runner that was set in the same universe, people stated, "No, I never had any thoughts about."
Oh,
that.
now you're relying on his word of it.
I don't have to.
Yeah.
I don't. First of all, it's not a good movie. It's not a good. I don't care what anybody says. I saw it. It's not a good movie.
There's like 4 that Paul W.S. Anderson has done. They were Mortal Kombat, Soldier, Pompeii, and Death Race. He's done 4 good ones his whole career.
And this wasn't one of them. And then
this is absolutely one of them.
Anyway, but it wasn't. Like I said, by the way, co-wrote. Hampton Fincher wrote the script for Blade Runner. He was the head writer. He got fired, but they actually both got fired.
Oh, they both got fired, so they're on equal footing.
But no one's on equal footing with Ridley Scott. Listen, guys.
Ridley Scott made House of Gucci, man. It's like he's like we could somewhat like
this show
you can go back and forth. Come on.
This show is not the place for fucking make believe like that. If there's an executive producer, like somebody like a James Cameron, somebody who pretty much owns the franchise and is the lord of the franchise, if they haven't said the shit, don't come in here with, well, I heard it from my talking fucking whatever, and that guy said it, and that guy wrote it down on his hand, and if you put all that together, it's a yes or fucking no question. The horse's mouth, if you don't know who the horse is, that's on you. But if you, in any prospective franchise, and somebody who's writing and still alive and still has if they didn't say shit, then there is no shit. This is not the place to come trying to attach bullshit onto other stuff. You can do that somewhere else. All right. Especially when it comes to this movie. This movie's not even good.
It's awesome.
It would be different. It would be different if you were if the movie.
I'm with you. I'm so with you.
You would be take it off. It would be different if the movie was like the level of Blade Runner, and you wanted, even then, if the horse's mouth doesn't say nay, then it ain't nay. All right, stop. Not everything has to be fucking joined at the eyeballs, guys. Some stories are just their own thing, and even if somebody who helped co-write, it's not Hampton Fincher, not Ridley Scott, says some shit, guess what? I'm gonna go write something tomorrow and attach it to Blade Runner. Guess what that's gonna fucking mean? Absolutely nothing.
A spinner from Blade Runner can be seen in the wreckage on the junk planet in the film, and Russell's character is shown to have fought in the battles referred to in Roy Batty's Rutger Hauer Diamond monologue, The Soldier of Orion and Tannhauser Gate.
Okay, hold on, let me see. Hold on. Box office bomb, of course.
So was Blade Runner.
Hold on, wait. All right. In these credits, I don't see Ridley Scott's name. So I wouldn't give a fuck what is in this movie if it wasn't given a thumbs up by Ridley Scott. fucking Deckard could be in there taking a piss on the spinner. If it ain't got Ridley Scott's name on it, then it ain't canon to Blade Runner. That's it.
I'm getting him on the record, man. I'm getting this Ridley Scott interview. I'm getting him on the record.
And you go do a separate show. Stop bringing this bullshit to my stream, please. All right.
Yes, he does. Time cop 2. Jesus. He can't. Well, those are sci-fi, but they're also bullshit because the time travel makes no sense at all in those. I enjoy them, but they're complete nonsense when it comes to time travel logic.
I have not heard. Ridley Scoop. Maybe Ridley Scoop gave me that. I know what you mean.
Maybe that's the guy who made House of Gucci.
Nah, because in order for that to happen, he owns the versions of those characters, so you can't really do it. You would have to put his name in the credits. If he legitimately did that, then his name would be the executive producer. And like I said, if you would have came to me with like what's that movie, like Altered Carbon? I mean, something like that. I mean, none of that stuff. Even if it was something good, if the horse didn't, say nay, it didn't happen. Speaking of good movies, when are we doing Spinal Tap? We're only halfway to Spinal Tap, right? That we're doing. If we said 100, you gave 50, but you know what? You've dumped in enough. We can do Spinal Tap probably on next Sunday, because we got to do Wicked, and Wicked's like 8 hours long. So
8 hours, only like
it's
most.
It's
only like three-quarters.
It's 3 hours of singing, so that might as well be fucking marathon. No, I do not.
Well, because that's the one that Forth was talking about recently.
And like, if you have to piece together little pieces of paper to make a picture, then guess what you don't have?
See,
a picture.
I'm hopping a little bit on the strain of like the Independence Day as part of the Alien and the Predator universe. That Harvester Skull and the Predator Badlands trailer.
What is the obsession of just trying to marry up everything? What is? I don't get it. Take the stories for what they're at, and they are. And if there's a crossover and the person who created the franchise says there's one, then okay, great. But you shouldn't have to. If you look how hard you're having to work to make this shit, like, work. You're having to do so much work. You should stop and be like, wow, this is too much twisting around to make this bullshit into gold. You're trying to spin bullshit. You're like Rumpelstiltskin. You're trying to spin feces into gold.
By the way, are you familiar with like that Jason Statham the Transporter cameo in Collateral? They're in the same universe.
No, Alien Earth is canon to the Alien franchise. What did you say? What'd you say?
About Jason Statham, he has the cameo in Collateral, and the like that connects it with Transporter. Or he's
they
like
didn't do anything with it.
I mean, he's there, pick it up or dropping off a package. So he's doing what Frank Martin does.
Like I said, this is where fans kind of piss me off. Not, I mean, it's like you're like,
we now pronounce you as movie.
No, the we ain't Ridley Scott and Hampton Pictures, so it doesn't matter. It's like a marriage without a marriage license. Doesn't matter.
Well, no, that means they were married by a judge, not by a clergyman. So
it's kind of annoying, actually, son. It's kind of annoying because it's like you, like I said, you're sitting in with your Legos in your Tonka truck, and you're like, wow, it's the only two things in front of me right now. Let's put them together. That, to me, that's a little bit on the lazy side. It's a little bit on the lazy side. I'm not a big fan of it because usually it's bullshit. Almost all the time it's bullshit. And it's the caliber of film that you try to match these things up with. I mean, all of these people are living. Hampton Pictures, he's like 1 million years old. He's still alive. They wanted to do something like that. They've had 40 fucking years to do, 42, 43 years to do that. They hadn't done it. And everything Ridley Scott explicitly says, he says you don't have to go hunting, for anything. You don't have to do like, what's that guy with that meme with the dude? He's always with the pointing at the map with all the string and shit. You don't have to do that. When you have to do that, you're trying to spin that bullshit in the gold. When you have to do it, when the writer tells me it. When you have to put on the foil hat, then maybe go down a different road. Maybe, find a story that's actually self-contained. I don't know. But no, I don't. I think it's kind of lazy. That's just me. And be honest with you, Doesn't. Thank you for the super chat, Larry. Doesn't matter. These fans have kept Blade Runner alive all these years,
It also
and
kept
like I
Soldier
said,
alive. It's a cult club
nobody
now.
gives a fuck about Soldier.
It's a cult classic now. It's like history,
Okay.
man.
You and your cult classics. I don't give a fuck about your cult classics. Cult classics are movies that pretty much bombed. I don't. The only time I hear a Soldier is on this fucking stream, and you. That's
And
it.
when people talk about how it's gonna the Blade Runner,
Because you guys start the stupid ass shit, and so you
It's
start
the writer
talking about
did.
it. Okay. Once again,
William, you said Cinematic Universe is worth money, so you're trying to dismantle it.
I'm not going to fall for that. I'm not stupid enough to fall for that tonight, Fourth. We'll just go ahead and end that.
Where's Spidey? Where's Spidey been lately? He totally be on my team. He's totally Team Soldier as part of Blade Runner.
No, he has a little bit more. No,
He'd be.
Like I said, it's uncreative. It's lazy, and if it's not done, even if that's with that writer, if it's not done under supervision of Ridley Scott, I don't fuck what you do. You can call it Blade Runner. You can just call it Blade Runner. You get sued. You can call it Blade Runner. But if it's not under the auspices of those gentlemen or the ones that are approved to handle that franchise, you may as well be. You're Timu, is what you are. You're Timu. If you're not the guy put in place to run the franchise or make those decisions, which he is not, then you're Timu. It's whatever you're trying to create. It's Blade Runner, Timu Blade Runner.
But shouldn't we argue really that Ridley Scott?
There's no argument.
Because he made House of Gucci, so it's like we should revoke Blade Runner from him now because of House of Gucci.
Sure.
Really, we should also do it.
I don't even need to respond to that.
Really, also Thelma and Louise and House of Gucci, and what else do you do? Those Exodus. It's like those three. Come on, you make three that are that bad. We got to revoke Blade Runner from you.
It's not like I said. It's not dude was my car bad. But it's not good. I wouldn't put decent on it. I wouldn't give it that much. But it's a throwaway movie. It's the kind of movies you watched in the 90s. Some it's like Carol Co. It's like canon. That's basically what Soldier is. It's like a canon movie that basically steals elements from other things. And remember when in the 80s, Larry, you're old enough to where we had Alien or Aliens, and then we had like Extra, or we had The Beast, or we had The Alien, or The Intruder, and all it was an alien knockoff. We watched them because they were fun, but we knew they weren't good. We never said, "Oh wow, there's a guy and a gal and a space dude in there. It has to be connected to Alien." No, we didn't fucking do stuff like that. That's what this is to me. It's taking canon movies, canon films movies, and trying to make and attach them into like Universal or Warner Brothers movies.
Yeah, Scott Lee is the bad soldier. Soldier, he was also Bruce Lee in Dragon the Bruce Lee story.
Yeah, sure. It got him nominated for Best Director. Whether it's good or not is up to you.
Have you actually seen it? Or have ever seen Thelma? Because you said that's
the
analogy.
In the movies.
But you say that's the analogy you use.
I will never see it again.
As far as like directors, like you don't have to like everything they do to be a fan of their work, and you always use Thelma and Louise. Like I'd rather like eat dog food from the can than watch Thelma and Louise.
Cat food, even All right, time to wrap this up because you guys are just fucking annoying me at this point. I will not be on the air tomorrow unless there's a Benadryl stream, but I'm kind of tired. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing it. Tuesday is Alien Earth.
Yep.
Episode what's 5th or 6th? What are we on?
I think it's 6. It's further along than Peacemaker is. The Peacemaker this week we're going to episode 5.
Yeah, and that I need Peacemaker to be better this next episode.
Yeah, this last episode, like we said, I wouldn't use.
I need Alien Earth to be better this episode too. But
I just give me more of that eye, please.
Those fucking eyes. It's got to, like I said, I wonder how they kill it though, because it doesn't show up in anything else. I wonder, I want to learn more about it, but at the same time, it hasn't been doing anything. I mean, the sheep is doing it. I mean, it caused chaos in the last, but it hasn't really been. It's not crawling around.
God, you were just going nuts about the dude who just like walks into like the little experimentation chamber and like, dude, you're lamb to slaughter right now.
And I'm pretty sure that what's his face, Timothy Olyphant's character pretty much sacrificed him to cause chaos. So we'll find out why. Because he's got goals and aims and stuff that he's doing. He's pretty shady. They all got their own agenda. So we're gonna find out. Obviously, I'm already calling it. Everybody from like Morrow's gonna get whacked. Everybody from the Boy Genius is what's it called, Prodigy, they're done. That's going to get absorbed. So nobody there's certain things that don't go forward since this is canon to Alien. So all right, that's it. We will Dragon. Dragon was actually pretty
Dragon
better than I thought it was going to be, given the a lot of those kind of movies at that point were like, oh, okay, sure. Everybody in Alien Earth is a bad guy. Well, everybody in Alien Earth.
Kosa, he just got the 1 gay on his subscribers. So kudos, man.
Yeah, I haven't seen that dude in a while. When does he stream? Why am I
not the same time we do? Or
I don't even get notifications.
Yeah, it's weird.
All right, guys, that's it. I don't even know if I should have done this show, but have a nice night.
Or
have a nice Monday, whatever the hell that is. They're all Monday.